So it's a great transition for us to talk about millennials, and we always hear that for auto care employees overall, that once you get in, you're in forever, right? It's a lifelong career decision. However, millennials are not known for their loyalty to a company or even to an industry. So what advice or personal experience can you share to encourage more millennial support to stay in our industry? And I'll start with you, Jeff.
Talking about this subject, and I'm not a millennial, but I really appreciate the millennial age, and there's a lot of exciting things you guys have in your future. But one thing I was really hoping to communicate here was, a long time ago, I was thinking about leaving Tenneco and met with an industry veteran, and he gave me some real quick advice on, whether I should take this job or not. It was very simple. It is, are you looking for a job or are you looking for a career? And there's a big difference in that. And what I wanted to kind of open up your thoughts to is the fact that sometimes people want to make a change without question. As you read about your age group, the millennial time that, it's a clear reputation. It's very public that there's a lot of job hopping going on. I'm not seeing that from the people that we have within our company. But what I also wanted you to think about is, for instance, if you're with large global companies that have a variety of options in the marketplace, just remember the fact that you don't have to start all over again and go to new companies to try something different. And that, for instance, at our company, we're really trying to promote on your annual IDP, your individual development plan. You're supposed to check off in there if you're interested in cross-cultural experience and try something at one of our facilities overseas. You can put on cross-functional expertise or cross-functional experience, which says you may want to go from sales to marketing or sales into engineering or something to that effect. And so, I just don't want you to sell yourself short. It's hard to start over with new corporations from scratch. You get some times in, but at the same time, totally accept the fact that people need a change of pace. People want to try something new. But remember, you can do that in some of these large, great companies within the automotive industry.
Yeah, we'd actually talked just a while earlier about moving jobs from within the same organization. And when you do that, how do you handle that from a wage perspective? Because from companies that I've worked with in the past, that we try to do that, we try to move people around in order to be able to keep them fresh. There's always that sense of, well, the people that have been there longer may make a significantly larger salary.
Yeah.
So there's that hunger to be able to chase the brass ring. And in the past, I've actually had people that come directly out of college and assume I have this piece of paper, so I should be vice president of film and play.
No, and I totally agree with you that people think they need to move jobs to make the money. But the other thing that we've understood, lessons learned with this entry-level sales job was, we found out that they want stage gates. And that the real benefit of this is as you get through your first 6 months of product training, that's a real stage gate and a 2-year training program. We give them a kicker of a surprise bonus, $1,500 bonus. And that just says, hey, thanks, you've done a good job. First 6 months were great. And that, this is a big step for you, not a promotion, but it's, some great money. And then as they work through the next stage gate of that entry-level program, there might be another bonus. Some are surprises, some aren't. But we've decided to, instead of having a 2-year training program, that we've tried to have some steps of progress within it. And that's really worked well. We did not have a good retention rate when we kicked off this market specialist program 10, 12 years ago. But with some of these lessons we've learned, it's been great on retention for us over the last 5 or 6 years.
All right, so John, let's keep on millennials, keep this discussion going. Can you describe a situation where you had a disagreement with a millennial and it was related to a generational difference? And explain how you overcame those differences with that millennial.
It's always dangerous to talk about a disagreement with a group of millennials.
Well, I've been watching the CNBC debate, and there's some
I appreciate those
questions. Yeah.
I actually had one as we were preparing for the show. Our graphic designer Rachel is a millennial, and as we were going through, of course, you guys know as you prepare for these, there's always a deadline that's close to the edge. We had one that was with a print company that was asking for higher resolution. The higher resolution images that they wanted were from our partners page, which means we had 10 or 12 that we needed better images from. So her immediate response is, no problem, John, I'll get right on this. Do you have any cell phone numbers for these guys? She wanted to start to text, and that was going to be the most efficient way to get through. And if that wasn't available, she wanted to go immediately to email, right? So we get into that environment where the phone is the last possible option. And for me, and what we went through to guide her through this process, is that for me, I pick up the phone and I ask for those type of favors in person, right? The relationship that you can build just in a 5-minute phone call, asking for them to do something that we needed within a 15-minute span, a set of emails may not have come back till the next day. So as we walk through kind of the process of helping her build that relationship over the phone, she actually got it done in record time and got all of the images that we needed, met our deadlines, and it was a quick learning experience for her to be able to pick that up and make a phone call as opposed to written communication.
Right. And Jim, you mentioned you've had some interaction with millennials in your workplace as well. Any story you'd like to share?
Yeah, you know, you find that the younger ones, both on the technician side and the IT programming side, they're right a lot. You can just ask them. But you know, I think that the biggest thing about this industry that they don't understand is that it takes experience, and with this experience comes the wisdom to know how to navigate through. Because Bill mentioned earlier, this is a relationship business, and I got involved in the association probably 8-9 years ago. And what I've learned from all the other people in this industry that have been in it longer is invaluable. And I think sometimes the millennials don't want to deal with that hard work to build those relationships, to learn from them. And we see that on the technician side and the IT side. And I can tell you, both technicians and IT, they both share some common personality traits. And like I said, they want to be right all the time. And it's okay to be wrong.
What advice would you give a millennial who wants to implement their ideas, but they're challenged by some of their colleagues who have, say, an old school mentality?
So this has a lot to do with change as well, because there might be somebody with a lot of gray hair that you're having to approach with an idea that you think is really good. And it's important, you know, when you take in that new change, to be sure that the boss or whoever you're pitching this to, a colleague, is not too busy and is ready to listen and accept and understand what your change is, what the change is going to provide back for the company, for the customers, for your fellow employees. Because I will tell you, throughout my career, and I'm probably the oldest guy up here now, had a lot of employees and a lot of employees who really want to engage and do a better job for the company. But in some cases, the timing wasn't right, or the presentation wasn't right to be able to to hear that yes. And I work hard on making sure if I possibly can say yes, because there's a lot of stuff. Don't sweat the small stuff. And if you ever get a no, not now, don't give up and don't be offended. Just realize the environment you're in and that, you know what, Bill is busy. You know, we have some other customer issues going on or whatever it is. Refine your approach. And if in fact the boss at the end of the day says he didn't see it, maybe it's not one of those battles worth fighting today, go and find a new one.
Jeff, can you share some traits that you look for when considering a millennial for promotion or maybe even additional responsibilities?
Yeah, and I think I'd like to start on, you know, what we really look for through like interviewing processes, and that, again, going back to the public data points on the millennial generation, but you know, it's pretty clear when we get a chance to be face-to-face with somebody that's either looking for a promotion or that's looking for employment. And that is priority number one, is I try to figure out through conversation, work ethic and competitiveness. I kind of put those hand in hand, because a lot of times we're trying to, you know, hire somebody that needs to be self-motivated. These people got to be able to wake up in the morning, get ready, and get out the door without, you know, if it's an outside sales rep, it's somebody that is not going to have a supervisor overlooking them. And that's a different type of conversation. And then the other thing that is extremely important for us on the younger generation is we just got to have a clear understanding that you are a solid face-to-face communicator. So these guys talked earlier about experiences where, you know, someone wanted to deliver some bad news by text, and that's just not the way to do it in the business world, no matter who you're talking to. And so, you know, part of the face, we don't do, you know, phone interviews, or we won't hire somebody without a face-to-face interview. We may start with a phone interview, but You know, those are the key things that we really look for: work ethic, competitiveness, and face-to-face communications.